Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Story. Plants might seem still, but beneath their leaves lies a hidden world of astonishing secrets. They silently warn each other of danger, share nutrients through underground networks, and even sense the faintest vibrations around them. Some flowers can generate their own heat. Seeds can remain dormant for centuries, and roots navigate soil as if listening to echoes. In this video, we'll reveal these remarkable abilities and uncover the hidden lives of plants, a world stranger, smarter, and more alive than you ever imagined. Get ready to see greenery like never before. Plants may appear still, but many are constantly communicating in ways we are only beginning to understand. When an insect bites a leaf, the plant releases chemical signals into the air, warning nearby greenery of potential danger. These neighboring plants respond by producing bitter or toxic compounds, making themselves less appealing to herbivores. This silent chemical dialogue extends across meadows and forests, linking not only individual trees, but also shrubs and grasses into a vast, interconnected defense network. What seems like quiet greenery is in fact alive with a hidden conversation that sustains the survival of entire plant communities. Beneath the surface, trees form another remarkable network. Their roots intertwine with fungi in expansive underground webs, exchanging sugars, minerals, and chemical messages. Mature trees can support younger saplings by sending them extra carbon, while vulnerable or sick trees may receive aid from healthier neighbors. In some forests, resources are preferentially directed to a tree's own offspring, highlighting an astonishing level of cooperation. Scientists call this the Wood Wide Web, a hidden system that allows forests to operate almost as a single, unified organism. Above ground, trees may seem solitary, but underground, they exist as part of a dynamic, interwoven community. Some flowers take survival to the extreme by generating their own heat. The skunk cabbage, for instance, can raise its temperature above the surrounding air, melting snow to attract pollinators even in early spring. Similarly, giant water lilies produce warmth during their nighttime blooms, creating a haven for nocturnal insects. While these floral heaters require energy, they dramatically increase the chances of successful reproduction. What seems delicate and passive at first glance is in reality a sophisticated biological strategy, a flower quietly bending the rules of nature to thrive. Roots, too, demonstrate astonishing ingenuity. Growing in darkness, they seek water and nutrients while avoiding obstacles, seemingly with purpose. Subtle clicking sounds produced as roots extend through soil suggest they may detect vibrations from their surroundings, almost like a primitive form of sonar. Some studies even indicate that roots can grow towards specific sound frequencies, hinting at a hidden acoustic sense. What appears as simple underground growth is in fact a complex exploratory process. Beneath every tree and flower bed, roots probe the earth with silent, methodical precision, navigating a world invisible to the eye. Some seeds possess an extraordinary ability to wait for the perfect moment to grow, remaining dormant for centuries, even millennia. These botanical time capsules protect their genetic material within resilient shells, effectively pausing their internal chemistry. Remarkably, scientists have revived a lotus seed that had been buried for over 1,000 years, growing it into a healthy plant. Even more astonishing, seeds of certain Arctic flowers frozen in permafrost for tens of thousands of years have been successfully germinated. This dormancy allows seeds to endure droughts, fires, and ice ages, preserving life until conditions are favorable. Within these tiny, unassuming packages lies the profound power to outlast entire civilizations, patiently holding the spark of life. Some plants take survival to a cunning extreme. The Titan arum, famously known as the corpse flower, produces one of nature's most unusual strategies for reproduction. When it blooms, it emits a staggering odor reminiscent of decaying flesh. While humans may recoil, flies and beetles, the flower's intended pollinators, are irresistibly drawn. Adding to the illusion, the flower warms itself, mimicking the heat of decomposition to spread its scent more effectively. Blooms are rare, lasting only a few days, drawing curious spectators from around the globe. For the corpse flower, however, it is simply survival through deception. By imitating death, it ensures life continues. Some trees have unlocked the secret to timeless existence. Certain species, like the quaking aspen in North America, can clone themselves through underground shoots that generate new trunks. While individual trunks may live a century or two, the root system can persist for tens of thousands of years, continuously producing replacements. A famous colony in Utah, known as Pando, spans over 100 acres and is estimated to be at least 80,000 years old. From above, it looks like a typical forest, yet beneath lies a single organism, sharing one genetic identity across countless trees. Such clonal colonies challenge the way we perceive individuality, revealing life as a collective, ancient phenomenon. Plants also perceive their environment in ways that defy expectation. Though they lack ears, they can detect vibrations from insect activity. When caterpillars chew on leaves, the resulting vibrations trigger the plant to produce defensive chemicals, making its tissues less appealing. Plants do not respond to every vibration, only those patterns associated with predation, showcasing a remarkable level of sensitivity. In essence, a leaf can recognize the sound of being eaten and activate its defenses in real time. This extraordinary awareness highlights that plants are not passive observers, but highly perceptive participants in their surroundings. Even when stressed, plants communicate in subtle ways. Using sensitive microphones, scientists have captured sharp ultrasonic clicks from plants under drought or injury. Tomato and tobacco plants, for example, produce far more of these clicks when deprived of water. While inaudible to humans, these sounds are distinct and measurable. The origin remains debated. Some suggest the clicks result from tiny bubbles forming and collapsing within the plant's water system, while others propose they may act as signals to neighboring plants or insects. Regardless of the cause, this discovery reveals that the green world is far from silent. It is alive with hidden, inaudible signals of stress. In the world's driest deserts, some plants have evolved an extraordinary ability. They can drink the air. By capturing moisture directly from fog, their specially shaped leaves or spines draw in tiny droplets, which then trickle down into the roots. The Namib Desert's unique flora, for example, has fine hairs that harvest mist, while cacti and succulents use similar adaptations to survive in virtually waterless soils. What looks like a barren wasteland to us is, for these plants, a treasure trove of hidden hydration. Even in the harshest conditions, life finds a way, sometimes by harvesting water straight from the air itself. Forests do more than shelter life, they create it. Through transpiration, trees release vast quantities of water vapor from tiny pores in their leaves. This moisture rises, cools, and condenses into clouds, eventually returning as rain. In dense rainforests like the Amazon, trees generate enough moisture to influence entire weather systems. Some scientists warn that widespread deforestation could disrupt rainfall patterns, turning lush ecosystems into dry savannas. Standing beneath a canopy is not merely seeking shade, it is witnessing a living fountain as trees send invisible streams of water skyward, sustaining life and shaping climates. Some orchids have mastered the art of deception. By emitting chemical compounds that mimic the scent of female bees, they lure unsuspecting males which attempt to mate with the flower. During this encounter, pollen is transferred, completing reproduction. The trickery extends beyond smell. Some orchids even shape their petals to resemble female insects. To human senses, the flowers may appear ordinary, but to pollinators, they are irresistible illusions. These cunning strategies allow orchids to survive and reproduce without offering nectar, a testament to the clever ways plants manipulate the animal world. Beneath our feet, some of Earth's largest organisms quietly thrive. In Oregon's Blue Mountains, a single honey fungus spans nearly 4 square miles, connecting countless tree roots underground. Known as Armillaria ostoyae, this immense organism weighs hundreds of tons and may be thousands of years old. Above ground, it appears as small mushrooms, but below lies a massive living network continuously growing and feeding. It is a striking reminder that life's true scale is often hidden and that forests harbor giants not only in the canopy but deep within the soil. Sunflowers perform a gentle daily choreography. Their blooms follow the sun from east to west, a process called heliotropism, maximizing light absorption. Young buds actively track the sun throughout the day and reset overnight to face the morning, while mature flowers typically remain eastward, warming quickly and attracting pollinators. Other plants also shift their leaves or blooms to optimize light. To the casual observer, these movements seem imperceptible, but in reality, they are a graceful, rhythmic dance, a quiet dialogue between plants and the sun. While ocean algae produce a large portion of the planet's oxygen, terrestrial plants often surpass them locally. In many regions, forests and grasslands generate more oxygen than all marine algae combined, sustaining life in ways we often overlook. Through photosynthesis, the green world continually replenishes the air we breathe, a silent, tireless contribution to Earth's balance. Vast forests, grasslands, and wetlands produce staggering amounts of oxygen, quietly sustaining life on Earth. The Amazon basin, with its incredible density of plant life, functions as one of the planet's most vital oxygen generators. Through photosynthesis, these ecosystems convert carbon dioxide into fresh air, nourishing not only local habitats but the entire globe. While oceans cover more surface area, terrestrial plants often concentrate their productivity in remarkable ways. Every tree, shrub, and blade of grass contributes to this silent abundance, creating the air we breathe. It is humbling to think that the oxygen in each breath may have been shaped by forests thousands of miles away. In some of the planet's harshest environments, plants can survive complete freezing. Arctic mosses and alpine species endure months of sub-zero temperatures thanks to protective sugars and proteins that prevent lethal ice crystal formation within their cells. When the thaw arrives, these plants spring back to life as if no time has passed. Some species even withstand repeated freeze-thaw cycles without damage. Their resilience is not just a wonder of adaptation, it offers insights for scientific breakthroughs, from preserving crops to advancing medical technology. Fragile in appearance, these plants are among nature's toughest survivors, thriving where temperatures plunge far below freezing. Cacti are masters of patience and endurance. With thick, waxy skins and water-storing tissues, many species survive months or even years without rainfall. Iconic giants like the saguaro can live for over 2 centuries, standing tall through cycles of drought and occasional floods. Their spines provide shade and reduce water loss, while shallow, spreading roots capture every drop of rain. Internally, cacti store gallons of water in expandable tissues, transforming into living reservoirs. Walking among them is witnessing a community of quiet giants, each holding a secret supply of life in silence. Long after other plants would wither, the cactus endures, a testament to resilience in the harshest environments. Some plants produce faint, magical glows at night. While bioluminescence is rare, certain plant-associated fungi emit soft green light on forest floors. Scientists have even engineered plants to glow by incorporating genes from naturally luminescent organisms, creating potential natural light sources for the future. Beyond engineered examples, some plant tissues fluoresce under ultraviolet light, revealing hidden patterns invisible to the naked eye. Imagine strolling through a forest where leaves emit ghostly light like lanterns of living matter. Though rare, glowing plants demonstrate that life can bend chemical rules to produce beauty in unexpected ways. What seems ordinary by day may shimmer softly after dark. Lotus seeds are nature's time capsules, capable of germinating after centuries of dormancy. The sacred lotus has produced seeds that survived over 1,000 years, sprouting into healthy plants as if freshly planted. Their longevity is due to hard protective shells and the ability to almost completely suspend metabolic processes, a natural pause button for life. Buried and forgotten for centuries, these seeds retain the spark of growth. Every lotus blooming from such ancient beginnings carries a story of endurance across time, blending resilience with beauty in every petal.
Trees remember the environment through their rings, recording histories of drought, rainfall, and growth cycles. These silent chronicles reveal how trees adapt to changing conditions, adjusting their growth to survive and thrive. By reading these rings, scientists uncover the story of a tree's life, a testament to memory and adaptation in the plant world. Trees carry memories of past hardships within their rings. During droughts, they form narrower rings, marking years of scarcity. But their adaptation goes beyond recording the past. Some trees adjust future growth based on previous stress, conserving water and energy as if anticipating another dry season. This remarkable form of memory is encoded in their physiology, shaping survival strategies across decades or even centuries. Each trunk in a forest is more than wood and bark. It is a living archive of struggle, resilience, and quiet remembrance. Trees do not simply exist, they learn and respond, carrying lessons forward with every new ring. Plants communicate through invisible chemical signals. When insects feed on leaves, many plants release volatile compounds into the air, warning nearby neighbors of danger. These chemical messages trigger defensive responses, prompting surrounding plants to produce bitter or toxic compounds before an attack occurs. Some plants can even distinguish between types of threats, sending different signals for caterpillars versus aphids. The air, which seems empty to us, is in reality alive with these silent conversations. Fields and forests are filled with chemical networks where plants exchange warnings and prepare defenses, ensuring the survival of the community as a whole. Some plants launch their seeds with astonishing force. Not all rely on wind or animals to spread offspring. Some use explosive dispersal. The touch-sensitive pods of the touch-me-not plant coil with tension as they dry, flinging seeds several meters when triggered. The squirting cucumber builds internal pressure, erupting to spray seeds in liquid bursts. These ballistic methods keep seedlings away from the parent plant, reducing competition and increasing survival chances. Each seed launch is a hidden drama, a sudden eruption of energy concealed within seemingly ordinary pods, revealing the quiet power and ingenuity of the plant world. Mangrove trees thrive in saline coastal waters, a place where most plants would perish. They filter salt at their roots, excreted through leaves or deposited into older leaves that eventually fall, leaving their tissues fresh and healthy. These adaptations allow mangroves to form extensive forests along tropical shores, providing habitats for fish, birds, and countless other species. Mangroves transform harsh, salty coastlines into thriving ecosystems. They are living guardians of the shore, demonstrating how resilience and biological innovation can turn an inhospitable environment into a vibrant, life-sustaining home.
Carnivorous plants have developed extraordinary strategies to obtain nutrients in poor soils. The pitcher plant, for example, forms deep, slippery tubes filled with digestive fluid. Insects, lured by nectar or bright colors, fall inside and are slowly broken down. The plant absorbs nutrients, supplementing what the soil cannot provide. Some tropical species are capable of trapping frogs, lizards, and even small rodents. These plants blur the line between passive vegetation and active predator, showing that survival in nature can take forms far more creative and unexpected than we might imagine. The Amazon rainforest produces roughly 20% of the world's oxygen, earning it the title lungs of the earth. Its vast array of trees and understory plants convert carbon dioxide into fresh air through photosynthesis, sustaining life across the globe. Beyond oxygen, the forest regulates climate, stores enormous amounts of carbon, and recycles rainfall to maintain ecological balance. Yet these vital systems are fragile. Deforestation and climate change threaten to disrupt these cycles, with consequences that extend far beyond South America. Protecting the Amazon is not just about preserving beauty, it is essential for the health of the entire planet. When we speak of the Amazon, we are describing more than a forest. We are witnessing a planetary system that breathes life into the world. Walking along its shaded paths is like stepping into the very machinery of Earth's atmosphere. Every leaf, every tree, and every plant contributes to the delicate balance that sustains global ecosystems, turning sunlight and water into oxygen and life itself. The Amazon is not just a place, it is a living, breathing force shaping the air, weather, and life across continents. The flavor of plants is shaped as much by the soil as by their genetics. Grapes, for example, develop unique tastes depending on the minerals, moisture, and microbes in the ground, a phenomenon known as terroir in winemaking. Herbs such as basil, mint, and rosemary also vary in aroma and flavor based on the soil they grow in, and even common vegetables like carrots and potatoes reflect the chemistry of their environment. Each plant carries a subtle imprint of the earth beneath it. Every bite is a reminder that plants are deeply intertwined with the soils and ecosystems that nourish them. Leaves do more than provide greenery. They respond dynamically to their surroundings. While we often associate colorful foliage with autumn, leaves can shift pigments for other reasons. Drought, nutrient shortages, or physical damage can trigger a transformation in chemical balance, fading green chlorophyll to reveal yellows, oranges, and reds. Some plants actively produce protective pigments, anthocyanins, which shield tissues from sunlight or deter herbivores. These stress-induced colors may appear even in the height of summer, signaling the hidden challenges a plant faces. In every changing hue lies a story of adaptation and resilience. The tallest trees on Earth are living monuments of endurance and engineering. In California's misty forests, coast redwoods soar to heights exceeding 380 feet, taller than a 30-story building. These giants contend with extreme conditions from top to base: thinner air, stronger winds, and intense sunlight. Water travels upward through massive trunks wider than streets, an extraordinary feat of biological design. And yet, these monumental beings begin life from seeds no larger than a tomato. Standing beneath a redwood, gazing up until the crown vanishes into the mist, one witnesses a skyscraper of life, built not from steel, but from centuries of patient growth.
Some flowers are masters of the night. Certain species bloom exclusively after dusk, opening their petals when the air cools and the stars emerge. Nocturnal blossoms release potent fragrances that travel through the still night, attracting moths and other nighttime pollinators. By embracing the darkness, these plants ensure reproduction in a world dominated by daylight, turning night into an opportunity rather than a limitation. Even in darkness, life finds a way to flourish, guided by the rhythms of the natural world. Some flowers embrace the night, revealing their beauty after the sun has set. Species such as the moonflower and evening primrose unfurl their petals at dusk, forming ghostly shapes that glow softly under moonlight. This nocturnal strategy reduces competition with daytime blooms and takes advantage of pollinators active only at night. To humanize, a flower opening beneath the stars may seem magical, but for the plant, it is a calculated survival tactic. Life's rhythms are diverse. While some plants flourish in sunlight, others reserve their brilliance for the quiet hours when the world is asleep. Trees have developed extraordinary adaptations to survive in oxygen-poor, swampy soils. In flooded or marshy environments, many species grow specialized aerial roots that rise above the water, allowing them to breathe. Mangroves produce snorkel-like structures called pneumatophores, while bald cypresses form knobby knees around their trunks, serving a similar function. These unique adaptations enable trees to thrive where most others would suffocate. Walking through a mangrove forest or a cypress swamp is a reminder of life's ingenuity, how organisms can reshape even their most fundamental structures to conquer challenges in their environment. Seeds have evolved clever ways to travel, and one of the most effective is hitchhiking. Many plants produce seeds with tiny hooks, barbs, or sticky hairs that cling to the fur of passing animals. A deer brushing through a meadow or a fox slipping through shrubs carries these seeds for miles before they drop in a new location. Humans can unwittingly play a role as well, carrying seeds on clothing or shoes. This strategy allows plants to colonize new areas without moving themselves. In fact, the invention of Velcro was inspired by observing burr seeds under a microscope. What seems like a minor nuisance is in reality a brilliant natural mechanism for spreading life across landscapes. Some seeds embark on incredible journeys across oceans, surviving long voyages to colonize distant lands. Coconut palms, for instance, produce buoyant seeds encased in sturdy, waterproof shells. These coconuts can drift for thousands of miles, carried by currents, until they wash ashore and take root. Other plants, from mangroves to certain legumes, have seeds naturally equipped to float, using the waves as highways for dispersal. This remarkable adaptation allows life to spread across islands and continents, turning coastlines into gateways rather than barriers. Each sprouting coconut on a distant beach tells the story of a seed that journeyed across the ocean, carrying the blueprint for new life within its protective shell.
Some plants respond to touch with astonishing speed. The sensitive plant, Mimosa pudica, reacts almost instantly when brushed, folding its leaves inward and drooping as if startled. Minutes later, the leaves reopen. This movement, called thigmonasty, may deter herbivores or minimize damage. The mechanism relies on rapid shifts in water pressure within specialized cells, acting like tiny hydraulic systems. Observing this quick response challenges our assumptions about plants being passive, revealing a surprising level of sensitivity and interaction with the world around them. Certain plants demonstrate the ability to count in subtle ways. The Venus flytrap is a striking example. Its trap-like leaves contain sensitive hairs that detect movement, yet the plant waits for 2 touches within about 20 seconds before snapping shut. This prevents energy waste on raindrops or debris. Once the trap closes, further stimulation triggers digestive enzymes to break down the captured insect. In this way, the Venus flytrap processes information and responds selectively, blurring the line between mechanical reaction and decision-making, demonstrating hidden intelligence in the plant kingdom. Ferns once dominated the earth long before flowering plants appeared. During the Carboniferous period, over 100 million years ago, enormous tree ferns shaped vast swampy forests, absorbing massive amounts of carbon dioxide and leaving the coal deposits we mine today. With intricate fronds unfurling, these plants spread globally, thriving in humid climates. Flowering plants had not yet evolved, making ferns the defining greenery of their era. Today, thousands of fern species continue to thrive in rainforests, deserts, and even urban cracks, a living link to ancient Earth. When you encounter a fern, you are seeing a survivor from a time before flowers. Pine cones are subtle, natural sensors of humidity. Their scales open in dry conditions to release seeds and close tightly in moist weather to protect them from rot. This movement happens without muscles or nerves, relying solely on the differing expansion and contraction of tissues. Some cones open and close repeatedly as humidity fluctuates, ensuring seeds are released under ideal conditions. To the casual observer, a pine cone might seem like a simple forest ornament, yet each one functions as a precise, living instrument, silently responding to its environment and safeguarding the next generation of trees. Some plants are natural instruments, responding subtly to changes in their environment. Place one indoors, and you may notice it opening and closing with shifts in air humidity, a quiet rhythm built entirely for survival. Even in the stillness of a room, these movements reveal the hidden awareness and adaptability of plants, performing a delicate choreography that balances growth and protection. Certain trees carry a startling secret beneath their bark, crimson sap that looks uncannily like blood. The dragon's blood tree of the Socotra Islands and Australia's bloodwood exude vivid red resin when wounded. For centuries, this sap has been valued for dyes, medicines, and rituals. Yet, beyond human fascination, it serves a protective role,
sealing wounds and deterring insects or microbes. Witnessing red sap dripping from a tree feels almost otherworldly, as if nature itself were blending myth with biology, offering a glimpse into the dramatic defenses plants have evolved.
Botanical classifications often defy our intuition. Bananas, for example, are true berries, while strawberries are not. A scientific berry develops from a single ovary and contains seeds embedded within its flesh. Strawberries, however, form from multiple ovaries of one flower, making them aggregate fruits. Tomatoes, kiwis, and grapes are also technically berries, even if they don't look like them. These surprising quirks remind us that the plant kingdom frequently challenges expectations, teaching that structure and development matter more than appearance. Every bite becomes a lesson in nature's intricate logic. Some plants use chemistry as a form of defense and competition. Coffee and cacao plants, for instance, release caffeine into the soil, inhibiting the growth of neighboring species in a process called allelopathy. At the same time, caffeine can act as a mild pesticide, affecting insect behavior and giving the plant a survival advantage. Long before humans discovered its stimulating effects, caffeine was a strategic weapon in crowded ecosystems, allowing plants to claim space and resources. In nature, the molecule's purpose is survival, not lattes. It is a remarkable example of how plants manipulate their environment to thrive. Bamboo is a marvel of rapid growth. Certain species can shoot upward nearly a meter in a single day. Unlike most plants, bamboo elongates its cells rather than creating them one by one, producing bursts of growth that seem almost instantaneous. This incredible speed allows bamboo to regenerate quickly after harvest, making it a vital resource for construction, tools, and food. Witnessing bamboo unfurl after rainfall is like watching nature push itself skyward, a living reminder that growth in the plant kingdom can be sudden, dramatic, and astonishingly efficient. Though bamboo resembles a tree, it is in fact a giant grass, one of the most dynamic and fast-growing plants on Earth. Its rapid ascent is a striking example of adaptation and efficiency in the plant kingdom, a living testament to how nature can achieve remarkable feats of growth with the right design. Some desert flowers take patience to the extreme, blooming only once every several decades. In harsh deserts, certain species remain dormant as seeds for years, waiting for rare rainfall and ideal conditions. When that moment arrives, they erupt into vibrant carpets of color, transforming barren landscapes into fleeting mosaics of life. In Chile's Atacama Desert, this phenomenon, known as the flowering desert, paints the arid floor with astonishing beauty for just a few weeks. For the plants, this strategy conserves energy until conditions favor success. For observers, it is a breathtaking reminder that even the harshest environments can conceal spectacular surprises. Research shows that some plants can recognize their own kin and adjust their growth accordingly. Certain wildflowers, for example, grow more aggressively when surrounded by unrelated plants, but behave more cooperatively around siblings. They may alter root expansion, leaf growth, or chemical defenses depending on nearby relatives. This kin recognition suggests a sophisticated awareness, allowing plants to balance cooperation and competition. Though the mechanisms, chemical signals, light cues, or other subtle processes are still being studied, the outcome is clear. Plants can distinguish friend from stranger, quietly managing resources while maximizing survival. Fire is not always an enemy to trees. For some species, it is a catalyst for renewal. Eucalyptus, sequoias, and certain oaks have thick bark that shields living tissues from flames. Others keep dormant buds beneath bark or deep in roots, ready to sprout after fire passes.
Some even require heat to crack open seeds and begin germination. Fires clear competition, recycle nutrients, and create opportunities for growth. Walking through a burned forest to see fresh green shoots emerging from charred trunks is witnessing resilience in action, proof that life can transform destruction into renewal. In waterlogged or swampy habitats, oxygen is scarce in the soil, so certain plants and trees grow specialized roots that reach upward, known as nematophores. Mangroves create intricate forests of these breathing roots, each a vital lifeline in otherwise suffocating mud. Bald cypress trees produce knobby knees around their trunks for a similar purpose. These adaptations allow survival in wetlands that would overwhelm ordinary roots. What appears as twisted, exposed wood is actually a sophisticated solution, a testament to the ingenuity of nature in overcoming environmental challenges. Leaves are more than simple green panels. They are highly active organs with tiny pores called stomata. These openings regulate the intake of carbon dioxide for photosynthesis while releasing oxygen and water vapor, balancing the plant's temperature and hydration. Every leaf is a finely tuned system, quietly managing gas exchange and supporting life both for itself and the wider ecosystem. The tiny pores on leaves, called stomata, are masterpieces of plant engineering. Their movements respond to light, humidity, and internal chemical signals, controlling the intake of carbon dioxide and the release of oxygen and water vapor. Without these microscopic openings, photosynthesis would stall, and the air we breathe would be drastically different. Though invisible to the naked eye, the countless stomata covering Earth's plants form a living, breathing skin that sustains life. Every inhalation we take is intimately tied to these unseen portals, a subtle reminder of how essential even the smallest structures in nature can be. Pollination can be surprisingly dramatic. Some plants release pollen explosively, ensuring it lands directly on visiting insects. Orchids, for instance, often employ spring-loaded mechanisms that catapult pollen onto pollinators, while other species build up tension until the slightest touch triggers a precise release. This sudden burst maximizes reproductive efficiency, sticking pollen to a bee or moth before it escapes. Beneath a flower's serene beauty lies a coiled machine of motion and timing, engineered by evolution to achieve one of the most crucial goals in nature: reproduction.
Orchids also produce the world's tiniest seeds, almost like floating dust. These minuscule seeds contain barely any nutrients and rely on symbiotic fungi in the soil to germinate. By producing thousands or even millions of seeds, orchids increase the odds that some will find a suitable home far from the parent plant. Despite their near invisibility, these seeds carry the potential to grow into some of the planet's most intricate and delicate flowers, showcasing nature's willingness to explore extremes in survival strategies. Evergreen trees like pines and spruces defy winter through chemistry. Rather than shedding their leaves, they produce antifreeze proteins that prevent ice crystals from forming inside cells. Needle-like foliage and waxy coatings reduce water loss, enabling photosynthesis even in freezing conditions. The dark green needles standing resilient against snow are not just visually striking, they are living demonstrations of survival honed over millennia, a testament to nature's ingenuity in holding on when others cannot. Photosynthesis, the engine of life, began more than 2 billion years ago. Ancient plants and microbial ancestors captured sunlight to convert carbon dioxide and water into sugars, releasing oxygen as a byproduct.
This innovation transformed Earth's atmosphere, paving the way for animal life. Every breath we take today is connected to this ancient process, which continues quietly in leaves, algae, and cyanobacteria worldwide. In every patch of green lies a process that has literally reshaped the planet, proving that plants don't just adapt, they reinvent the world around them. In the Amazon rainforest, trees release clouds of invisible chemicals called volatile organic compounds. These compounds deter herbivores, attract pollinators, and protect leaves from excess sunlight, while collectively creating the forest's signature fragrance. Beyond scent, these emissions influence cloud formation and rainfall, showing that plants actively shape their environment. The Amazon is not merely a collection of trees, it is a vast, living system, engineering air, water, and climate with each leaf and branch. Walking through it is stepping into a world where greenery commands the very sky above. Vines demonstrate another remarkable form of adaptation, climbing by touch. They extend slender tendrils that sway until they encounter a nearby surface. Upon contact, cells on the touched side slow their growth, while the opposite side elongates, causing the tendril to curl around the support. This elegant mechanism allows vines to reach sunlight high above the forest floor without producing a rigid trunk, a graceful example of how plants combine sensitivity and strategy to thrive.
Some vines are master climbers, sensing and responding to their environment with surprising precision. Certain species can even differentiate between rough and smooth surfaces, choosing textures that provide the best grip. To an observer, the tendril's slow curl may seem gentle, almost romantic, but for the vine, it is a matter of survival, a deliberate, steady climb towards sunlight. Watching it wrap around a tree branch or pole is witnessing touch translated into movement, a subtle form of exploration in the plant world. It's proof that plants perceive and interact with their surroundings in ways that feel almost intelligent. A single oak tree is far more than an individual organism. It is a living metropolis. Its branches provide shelter for birds, squirrels, and countless insects, while its bark hosts fungi, mosses, and lichens. Below ground, roots connect to fungal networks that sustain vast microbial communities. A mature oak can support thousands of species, creating a layered ecosystem of life. Seasonal cycles bring flowers for pollinators, acorns for animals, and leaves that enrich the soil. The sheer size and longevity of oaks make them foundation species, anchoring entire ecological communities. Standing beneath one is a humbling reminder of life's interconnectedness and the history carried in each trunk. Some plants have evolved transparent leaves to maximize sunlight capture. Species like window plant lithops grow most of their bodies underground, exposing only translucent leaf tops. Light passes through these windows to reach the photosynthetic tissues safely below, protecting the plant from harsh heat and herbivores. In dense forests, other plants use similar adaptations, ensuring that every photon of light is used efficiently. These leaves transform light into a glowing resource within the plant, a quiet testament to the sophistication of natural design and the ingenuity embedded in even the smallest structures. Trees in cities grow faster but face a shorter life. Elevated carbon dioxide, warmer temperatures, and irrigation accelerate growth in urban environments, producing thicker foliage and additional growth rings each year. Yet pollution, compacted soil, heat, and restricted space shorten their lifespans dramatically.
A city tree may survive only a few decades, while the same species in a forest could endure for centuries. Despite this, urban trees provide critical benefits, cooling streets, filtering air, and offering refuge for urban wildlife. Their rapid growth paired with shorter life is a stark reminder of the trade-offs plants face in human-dominated spaces. Leaves can generate tiny electric fields as water moves within them. As water travels upward through microscopic tubes, it creates faint electrical charges around the leaf. Bees and other pollinators can detect these charges, using them to determine which flowers have already been visited. In this way, leaves communicate with insects through subtle electrical signals. What appears to be a simple green surface is alive with physics, transforming light, water, and electricity into a hidden language that guides interactions between plants and their environment. Each leaf becomes a living transmitter, broadcasting information in ways invisible to humans. Desert plants are remarkable water conservers. Many species store water in swollen stems, trunks, or roots, creating natural reservoirs for periods of drought. Cacti expand their tissues after rainfall, using the stored moisture slowly over months or even years. Baobabs can hold thousands of liters of water within their massive trunks, while underground tubers act as hidden wells for other desert flora. These adaptations allow plants to survive in harsh, arid landscapes. For humans, these living reservoirs have sometimes been vital sources of water in emergencies. Every thickened stem or root tells a story of endurance, patience, and careful preparation.
The Rafflesia flower stands among nature's giants in the plant kingdom. Hidden in the forests of Southeast Asia, it produces enormous blooms exceeding 3 feet across. Its reddish, textured petals mimic decaying flesh, and the pungent odor attracts flies that serve as pollinators. Rare and striking, Rafflesia is both a marvel of scale and an example of evolutionary strategy, using size, color, and scent to ensure reproduction. Rafflesia is one of nature's most extraordinary floral spectacles. Lacking leaves, stems, or roots of its own, it lives as a parasite inside host vines, drawing nutrients until it bursts forth in a colossal bloom. Rare and short-lived, it may appear only once every several years. A single blossom can exceed the size of a dinner table, exuding a scent of decay that attracts pollinators. For those who witness it, the sight is unforgettable. Rafflesia challenges our expectations, showing that plants can be as bizarre and dramatic as any animal, using size, color, and odor to ensure survival and reproduction. Mosses demonstrate astonishing endurance, capable of surviving complete dehydration for years. Certain species can lose nearly all their water and remain alive, their metabolism slowing to almost nothing. When rain finally arrives, they revive within hours, unfurling green once again. Protective proteins and sugars shield their cells from damage during desiccation, allowing mosses to colonize harsh environments, rocky cliffs, arid deserts, even urban walls. In miniature, moss illustrates the quiet persistence of life, reminding us that survival often takes subtle, almost invisible forms. Even trees exhibit hidden rhythms of life. Studies using laser scanning have shown that many species sleep at night, drooping branches and leaves slightly as evening falls, then lifting them with morning light. This subtle nightly movement, often just a few centimeters, may conserve energy or reset internal water systems, reflecting circadian rhythms that govern plant life. Imagine an entire forest gently lowering itself into rest at night and rising again at dawn, a quiet choreography of energy and life hidden from ordinary perception.
Some plants are adapted to the most extreme environments, thriving on volcanic ash and lava fields. After eruptions, pioneer species such as ferns, lichens, and hardy grasses begin breaking down rock and adding organic matter. In Hawaii, ohia trees are among the first to colonize fresh lava flows, their bright red flowers striking against black volcanic rock. Over time, volcanic soils become some of the world's most fertile, supporting forests and agriculture. These plants show that destruction can give rise to life, transforming desolation into ecosystems. Certain plants can even change sex in response to their environment. Some trees produce only pollen under stressful conditions, conserving energy, then switch back to producing fruit and seeds when resources improve. Others alternate sexes seasonally or multiple times in their lifetimes. This flexibility ensures reproduction under fluctuating conditions, illustrating that in plants, survival and reproduction are dynamic strategies shaped by environmental cues. Nature also equips plants with dramatic defenses. The manchineel tree, found in parts of the Caribbean and Central America, is dangerously toxic. Its sap contains chemicals that can blister skin, and even rain dripping through its leaves can cause painful reactions. Burning its wood releases fumes harmful to the lungs. Despite its dangers, the manchineel stabilizes coastal soils and provides habitat for wildlife. This tree is a reminder that beauty can conceal peril, and that plant defense strategies can be as extreme and effective as those of animals. Grasslands once covered more than a third of Earth's land. Before agriculture and urban expansion, vast prairies, savannas, and steppes supported immense herds of grazing animals and countless other species. These ecosystems not only shaped the landscape, but also stored enormous amounts of carbon in their deep root systems, often more than forests of similar size. Grasslands stabilize soils, reduce erosion, and regulate water cycles, providing critical habitat for species ranging from bison and elephants to migratory birds. Though many grasslands have been plowed or fragmented, they remain vital. Grasses show that life's abundance doesn't always grow tall. Sometimes it stretches low and wide, forming a living green skin that blankets the earth. Plants have also provided humans with remarkable resources. Natural rubber, for example, comes from latex produced by species like the para rubber tree. This milky fluid, when processed, becomes elastic and durable, forming the basis of tires, gloves, and countless products. Other plants, such as dandelions and guayule, also produce latex, serving as alternative sources. For the plants themselves, latex is a defense mechanism. It seals wounds and deters insects with bitter or toxic compounds. Every drop of milky sap is a tiny chemical shield, demonstrating how survival strategies in plants have shaped human industry. Trees can also preserve the past in astonishing ways. Amber, fossilized tree resin, often contains not only insects and leaves, but also microscopic bubbles of ancient air trapped millions of years ago. These tiny pockets capture the composition of Earth's atmosphere at the time, revealing oxygen and carbon dioxide levels from eras long before humans existed. Every piece of amber is more than a gemstone. It is a time capsule, holding the breath of ancient forests and whispers of prehistoric worlds. Aquatic plants have evolved incredible ways to survive in water. Lotus and water lily leaves, for example, repel water completely. Tiny microscopic structures on their surfaces cause droplets to bead up and roll off, taking dirt and dust with them. This lotus effect keeps leaves clean, prevents fungal infections, and ensures sunlight reaches the photosynthetic tissues below. Humans have even mimicked this effect in self-cleaning surfaces and water-repellent coatings. For the plant, it is a simple but vital adaptation, nature's ingenuity in motion. Pollination can also be a surprisingly dynamic process. Some flowers, like the mountain laurel, act like tiny catapults. When an insect lands, the flower's petals release stored tension, flinging the insect into the air while dusting it with pollen. The startled pollinator then carries the pollen to the next bloom. Other plants employ similar spring-loaded mechanisms, ensuring reproduction with precision and efficiency. What appears delicate is in fact finely engineered, showing that plants have mastered sudden motion to safeguard survival.
Finally, some fungi and plants share light energy in unusual symbioses. Certain fungi living inside plant tissues can capture light and transfer part of its energy to their host. In return, the plant supplies sugars that the fungi cannot produce alone. This partnership expands the possibilities of photosynthesis, turning two very different organisms into collaborators in capturing and using sunlight, an elegant example of cooperation and survival at the microscopic level. The discovery is recent, and researchers are still unraveling how widespread this phenomenon might be. It challenges our neat categories of life, showing that the boundary between plant and fungus is not as rigid as we once thought. In some cases, the green world is not working alone. It collaborates with hidden partners, blending talents in ways that expand the possibilities of survival. Bamboo forests offer more than shade and beauty. They can reduce noise pollution naturally. The dense, hollow stalks of bamboo scatter and muffle sound waves, creating living sound barriers. In urban planning, thick bamboo groves are sometimes planted to soften the din of traffic and industry. Beyond their acoustic properties, bamboo stabilizes soil, prevents erosion, and provides shelter for countless species. Standing in such a grove, the air feels still, and outside sounds fade into a gentle hush. Bamboo doesn't just grow, it transforms the environment, creating havens of calm amid noise. Some seeds rely on an extraordinary journey to survive. Certain plants produce seeds that must pass through an animal's digestive system to germinate. Along the way, stomach acids scar or soften the seed coat, priming it to sprout once deposited. This process, called endozoochory, ensures seeds travel far from the parent plant and are often enriched by nutrient-rich droppings. Fruits, from berries to cherries, evolved to attract animals for this very purpose. To humans, fruit is nourishment. To the plant, it is a ticket to new ground, a partnership written in sweetness and color that has endured for millions of years. Ancient trees once grew near the South Pole. Today, Antarctica is a frozen desert, but fossil evidence shows that millions of years ago, giant forests thrived there. Relatives of modern conifers endured months of darkness in winter and unbroken daylight in summer, adapting to extreme light cycles. These trees may have formed dense stands, shaping ecosystems where dinosaurs roamed among the trunks. As the climate shifted and ice took over, these forests vanished, leaving only petrified remains. Antarctic fossils are a reminder that Earth's climate and ecosystems have never been static. Even the coldest, most barren landscapes may once have been vibrant and alive.
Some plants produce fruits so toxic they can kill large animals. Not all fruits are meant to be eaten. Some serve as chemical defenses disguised as food. The pom-pom tree of Southeast Asia produces large, attractive fruits filled with compounds lethal to humans and other animals. The strychnine tree bears seeds containing some of the most notorious poisons in history. Toxic fruits ensure that only specialized dispersers, animals that can tolerate the toxins, handle the seeds, while others are deterred. In nature, fruit is not always sweetness and nourishment. It is strategy.
Toxic fruits show that beauty can conceal danger and that chemistry can be as potent as teeth and claws in the quiet arms race between plants and animals. Leaves are not passive observers of sunlight. They actively protect themselves from overheating. Many species adjust their angles in intense sunlight, tilting or drooping to minimize exposure. Some, like the prayer plant, lift leaves at night and lower them during the day. These subtle movements, almost imperceptible in real time, reveal a finely tuned daily rhythm. By controlling leaf orientation, plants reduce heat stress and water loss, demonstrating remarkable sensitivity to their environment. A forest canopy isn't just a static ceiling of green, it is a shifting mosaic. Each leaf adjusts continuously to balance light, heat, and water. Even in still air, the canopy is alive with quiet motion as plants fine-tune their orientation to survive. Some plants detect gravity and always grow roots downward. Even in total darkness, seeds know which way is up. Specialized cells containing tiny, dense structures called statoliths settle under gravity, signaling the plant which direction to grow. Roots respond by growing downward, shoots grow upward, and seedlings emerge correctly oriented. This process, known as gravitropism, ensures that plants anchor and nourish themselves even when conditions are confusing. To us, it looks automatic, but beneath the surface lies a sophisticated biological compass, each root tip constantly sensing its position relative to the earth. Plants are not blind wanderers, they are skilled navigators guided by invisible forces. Certain trees keep a memory of lightning strikes in their rings. When lightning hits, the intense energy scars tissues beneath the bark, permanently altering growth. As the tree adds new rings each year, the scar remains, a living record of past storms. Dendrochronologists can read these marks centuries later, reconstructing the history of lightning, drought, and fire in a region. Some trees survive multiple strikes, carrying several scars in their wood. Every trunk may silently archive a lifetime of extreme events, a reminder that trees are not just witnesses to time, they are storytellers, preserving the history of the sky in rings of living wood. Grass can release a smell when cut that signals distress. The fresh green scent of cut grass is not merely pleasant, it is a chemical alarm. When damaged, grass releases volatile compounds called green leaf volatiles, which deter herbivores and even attract predators of the insects feeding on it. Neighboring plants may detect these chemicals and boost their own defenses. What humans perceive as a familiar fragrance is, to the grass, a warning signal drifting invisibly through the air. Even the most ordinary scents can carry hidden messages.
Some desert plants reflect sunlight with silvery hairs. In scorching environments, species like sagebrush and desert lavender coat their leaves with fine silvery hairs. These hairs reflect sunlight, reduce heat absorption, and trap a thin layer of cooler air near the surface. This shimmering armor prevents overheating and conserves precious water, enabling survival in arid climates. To humanize, the silvery glow gives the desert a ghostly beauty. To the plant, it is life-saving insulation. Survival often hinges on the smallest details, leaf angle, surface hairs, or subtle chemical shifts, all working together to endure extremes. There are plants that produce edible roots weighing hundreds of pounds. Some plants hide enormous treasures underground. Yams, cassava, and other root crops can grow to extraordinary sizes, storing vast amounts of starch. In parts of Africa, giant yams have been recorded weighing hundreds of pounds, large enough to feed entire families for weeks. These swollen roots act as food reserves for the plant, helping it survive droughts and seasonal changes. For humans, they have become staple crops, sustaining millions across the globe. Digging up such a root can feel like unearthing a buried boulder, a hidden mass of nutrition.
These plants show how life prepares for scarcity by banking resources underground, providing survival not only for themselves, but for countless human communities that cultivate and harvest them. Trees can release chemicals that stunt the growth of competitors. Not all plants are cooperative. Some trees secrete compounds into the soil that slow or prevent the growth of nearby species, a phenomenon called allelopathy. Black walnut trees, for instance, produce juglone, a chemical that inhibits many plants from growing beneath their shade. For the walnut, it ensures access to water and nutrients. For surrounding plants, it is a silent, invisible threat. These chemical strategies shape entire forests and fields, determining which species thrive and which fail. What looks like peaceful coexistence is often a battlefield of unseen toxins, reminding us that even in still forests, competition is fierce and survival can hinge on the chemistry flowing through roots and leaves.
Some flowers bloom only once in a human lifetime. Among the most dramatic are plants that spend decades accumulating energy, only to flower once before dying. The century plant, Agave americana, stores energy in thick leaves for years. When the moment comes, it sends up a towering stalk over 20 feet high, covered in blossoms. After this singular spectacle, the plant dies, leaving seeds or offsets to continue its lineage. Certain bamboos follow a similar strategy, blooming once every few decades or even centuries, sometimes synchronizing across entire regions. To witness such a bloom is to glimpse a plant's hidden calendar. For the plant, this strategy ensures maximum reproductive success. For us, it is a reminder that patience and timing in nature often operate on scales far beyond a human lifetime. Mosses were among the first plants to colonize land. Hundreds of millions of years ago, bare rock dominated Earth's land masses. Mosses and their relatives were the pioneers, spreading across damp surfaces, breaking down stone, and creating the first soils. By trapping moisture and adding organic matter, these simple plants paved the way for larger species and entire ecosystems. Today, mosses still thrive in harsh environments, on cliffs, rooftops, and tundra, reminders of their enduring resilience. Each patch of moss that turns green after a rain is a living echo of the plants that made terrestrial life possible, tiny yet profound witnesses to Earth's great transformation. Certain plants change leaf shape as they grow. Some species do not retain a single leaf form throughout their lives. Instead, their leaves transform dramatically as the plant matures, a phenomenon called heteroblasty. Eucalyptus trees, for instance, begin with round opposite leaves that gradually become long, narrow, and alternating as the tree ages. Passion flower vines may produce multiple distinct leaf forms on the same plant. These transformations reflect shifting needs. Young leaves may optimize light capture near the ground, while mature leaves maximize efficiency higher in the canopy. They can also confuse herbivores, making it harder to specialize on one leaf form. Witnessing a plant wear multiple disguises over its life is like watching adaptation unfold in real time. Even something as simple as a leaf is never fixed. Some trees store more carbon than entire forests of smaller plants. Not all trees are created equal. Giant tropical trees can hold immense amounts of carbon in their trunks and branches, locking away more carbon than an entire stand of smaller trees combined. Many of these giants have stood for centuries, quietly capturing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere while supporting intricate ecosystems. Losing just one can have disproportionate consequences for carbon storage and the web of life that depends on it. Protecting these majestic trees is not just about preserving beauty, it is about safeguarding the balance of life and climate itself. When you stand beneath one of these towering trees, you're not just looking at a plant, you're looking at a massive reservoir of carbon, a living climate regulator. Their size is not only inspiring, it is vital to the balance of the Earth itself. Plants can detect the direction of wind and adjust their growth. They are not passive in the face of air currents. Many sense the force and direction of wind, modifying their stems and leaves accordingly. In strong winds, stems grow shorter and thicker to increase stability, while some leaves reorient or flutter to reduce drag and avoid damage. These responses are guided by mechanical signals. Tiny shifts in pressure and bending trigger changes in growth hormones. Over time, the plant takes on a form perfectly suited to its windy environment. To us, wind in the trees may seem random, but to the plant, it is information guiding every growth decision. In their swaying and bending, we glimpse a subtle intelligence, adjusting structure to endure the invisible forces pressing against them daily.
There are trees that walk by growing roots in new directions. Beyond the walking palm, other species can slowly shift their positions over decades. By growing new roots toward light or fertile soil while letting old ones die back, these trees reposition themselves in subtle but meaningful ways. Over time, a stationary organism can migrate, responding to opportunities in its environment. The slow, deliberate motion challenges our perception of plants as fixed and rooted, revealing a hidden mobility that unfolds over centuries. Some plants can survive extreme cold by producing natural antifreeze. Arctic and alpine species, like certain grasses and mosses, create proteins that prevent ice crystals from forming in their cells. These antifreeze proteins allow tissues to remain liquid at temperatures that would normally be lethal. Needle-like leaves, protective wax coatings, and low growing forms all complement this strategy. In this way, plants endure frost and blizzards, maintaining life in conditions that would destroy most other organisms. Nature's chemistry becomes survival armor, invisible yet vital, letting green persist where snow dominates. Some flowers can mimic the scent of rotting flesh or other unusual odors. Beyond the famous Rafflesia, many species employ olfactory deception to attract specific pollinators. Carrion flowers, for example, lure flies with the aroma of decay, ensuring pollination in environments where conventional insect partners are scarce. These bizarre fragrances illustrate the ingenuity of plants, using chemistry, not movement, to manipulate behavior. Insects respond without hesitation, while humans recoil, witnessing evolution's dramatic theater in action. These aquatic pollinators transform the forest into a living network of movement and exchange. The trees have adapted to floodwaters, developing fruits that float or are tough enough to survive in the river. Fish, in turn, receive nourishment while performing the critical role of seed dispersal. What looks like chaos, the rising river, drifting fruits, and darting fish, is actually a finely tuned partnership. The Amazon demonstrates that life thrives not just on land, but across water, blurring the line between forest and river in a seamless dance of survival. Some plants produce flowers that bloom only at night. In deserts, rainforests, and temperate regions alike, certain species wait for darkness to reveal their blossoms. Night-blooming flowers often attract moths, bats, or other nocturnal pollinators. Their petals may be pale or luminescent, standing out in low light, while releasing fragrances that travel farther in the cooler evening air. For these plants, timing is everything. Bloom too early and the wrong pollinator arrives. Too late and energy is wasted. Their rhythm demonstrates a patience and precision, synchronized with the unseen movements of the night.
Beneath our feet, some of Earth's largest organisms quietly thrive. In Oregon's Blue Mountains, a single honey fungus spans nearly 4 square miles, connecting countless tree roots underground. Known as Armillaria ostoyae, this immense organism weighs hundreds of tons and may be thousands of years old. Above ground, it appears as small mushrooms, but below lies a massive living network continuously growing and feeding. It is a striking reminder that life's true scale is often hidden, and that forests harbor giants not only in the canopy, but deep within the soil. Sunflowers perform a gentle daily choreography. Their blooms follow the sun from east to west, a process called heliotropism, maximizing light absorption. Young buds actively track the sun throughout the day and reset overnight to face the morning, while mature flowers typically remain eastward, warming quickly and attracting pollinators. Other plants also shift their leaves or blooms to optimize light. To the casual observer, these movements seem imperceptible, but in reality, they are a graceful, rhythmic dance, a quiet dialogue between plants and the sun. While ocean algae produce a large portion of the planet's oxygen, terrestrial plants often surpass them locally. In many regions, forests and grasslands generate more oxygen than all marine algae combined, sustaining life in ways we often overlook. Through photosynthesis, the green world continually replenishes the air we breathe, a silent, tireless contribution to Earth's balance. Vast forests, grasslands, and wetlands produce staggering amounts of oxygen, quietly sustaining life on Earth. The Amazon basin, with its incredible density of plant life, functions as one of the planet's most vital oxygen generators. Through photosynthesis, these ecosystems convert carbon dioxide into fresh air, nourishing not only local habitats but the entire globe. While oceans cover more surface area, terrestrial plants often concentrate their productivity in remarkable ways. Every tree, shrub, and blade of grass contributes to this silent abundance, creating the air we breathe. It is humbling to think that the oxygen in each breath may have been shaped by forests thousands of miles away. In some of the planet's harshest environments, plants can survive complete freezing. Arctic mosses and alpine species endure months of sub-zero temperatures thanks to protective sugars and proteins that prevent lethal ice crystal formation within their cells. When the thaw arrives, these plants spring back to life as if no time has passed. Some species even withstand repeated freeze-thaw cycles without damage. Their resilience is not just a wonder of adaptation, it offers insights for scientific breakthroughs, from preserving crops to advancing medical technology. Fragile in appearance, these plants are among nature's toughest survivors, thriving where temperatures plunge far below freezing. Cacti are masters of patience and endurance. With thick, waxy skins and water-storing tissues, many species survive months or even years without rainfall. Iconic giants like the saguaro can live for over 2 centuries, standing tall through cycles of drought and occasional floods. Their spines provide shade and reduce water loss, while shallow, spreading roots capture every drop of rain. Internally, cacti store gallons of water in expandable tissues, transforming into living reservoirs. Walking among them is witnessing a community of quiet giants, each holding a secret supply of life in silence. Long after other plants would wither, the cactus endures, a testament to resilience in the harshest environments. Some plants produce faint, magical glows at night. While bioluminescence is rare, certain plant-associated fungi emit soft green light on forest floors. Scientists have even engineered plants to glow by incorporating genes from naturally luminescent organisms, creating potential natural light sources for the future. Beyond engineered examples, some plant tissues fluoresce under ultraviolet light, revealing hidden patterns invisible to the naked eye.
Imagine strolling through a forest where leaves emit ghostly light like lanterns of living matter. Though rare, glowing plants demonstrate that life can bend chemical rules to produce beauty in unexpected ways. What seems ordinary by day may shimmer softly after dark. Lotus seeds are nature's time capsules, capable of germinating after centuries of dormancy. The sacred lotus has produced seeds that survived over 1,000 years, sprouting into healthy plants as if freshly planted. Their longevity is due to hard protective shells and the ability to almost completely suspend metabolic processes, a natural pause button for life. Buried and forgotten for centuries, these seeds retain the spark of growth. Every lotus blooming from such ancient beginnings carries a story of endurance across time, blending resilience with beauty in every petal.
Certain roots act like underground sensors. Some species can detect nearby obstacles, water sources, or even chemical signals from other plants. Roots then grow in preferred directions, avoiding competition or moving toward nutrients. This subterranean navigation is constant and responsive, mapping an invisible world beneath our feet. To humans, soil may seem inert, but to plants it is a dynamic realm full of information, guiding every twist and turn of growth. Some flowers deceive animals with false rewards. Beyond mimicking female insects, certain plants display colors, shapes, or scents suggesting nectar where none exists. Pollinators learn to visit repeatedly, inadvertently spreading pollen in a carefully orchestrated dance of deception. These floral illusions highlight that plants are not passive participants in ecosystems. They are manipulators, strategists, and masters of subtle influence. Some plants can hear vibrations in the air. Though they lack ears, studies show that certain species can detect the vibrations caused by insect movement or nearby wind. When a plant senses these subtle oscillations, it may ramp up chemical defenses or adjust its growth, preparing for herbivory before it happens. The leaves and stems act like tiny antennae, picking up cues invisible to us. What seems silent to human perception is a constant dialogue for plants, a hidden conversation with the world around them. Certain flowers produce heat to attract pollinators. In rare cases, like the Titan arum or some tropical aroids, flowers can raise their temperature above ambient air. This heat volatilizes scents, luring insects from afar, and may even provide warmth for early morning pollinators. To us, a flower may appear still and lifeless. To the insects it serves, it can feel like a scented, living beacon radiating energy. Plants, in this way, manipulate their environment to ensure survival in the quietest, most subtlest ways. Some roots can sniff water from great distances. Certain desert plants and trees can detect moisture far underground, growing roots in precise directions toward hidden aquifers. The root tips respond to tiny gradients of water concentration, bending and elongating toward life-sustaining sources. In essence, these underground explorers map a world we cannot see, translating invisible clues into tangible growth. Some plants can release clouds of chemicals to communicate danger. When attacked by insects, wounded plants can emit volatile compounds that signal neighboring plants to bolster their defenses. These chemical warnings can spread through the air or soil, creating a network of early alert systems across entire fields or forests. A single bite on one leaf may ripple outward invisibly, turning the entire plant community into a responsive, interconnected society. Certain species can mimic dead leaves or branches. In forests where herbivory is high, some plants disguise themselves to escape notice.
Dead leaf orchids or twig-mimicking shrubs blend seamlessly into their surroundings, fooling both insects and herbivores. These deceptions highlight an extraordinary principle. Survival in nature is not just about growing fast or strong, it is about illusion, subtlety, and hiding in plain sight. They shape the air we breathe, the food we eat, and the landscapes we inhabit. Yet they are also vulnerable to drought, to fire, to disease, and to human activity. Their survival is a delicate balance, achieved through ingenious strategies, chemical defenses, hidden senses, and astonishing adaptations. In their stillness, we might overlook them, but when we pause, we see their richness. Forests that summon rain, seeds that wait centuries, roots that reach deeper than buildings, flowers that sense and respond to the world around them. Plants remind us that life is not only fierce, but endlessly inventive, woven into every leaf, every root. To walk among them is to remember that Earth's green world is fragile, astonishing, and inseparable from our own. And so we come to the end of our journey through the hidden lives of plants. From roots that whisper beneath the soil to trees that stand older than civilizations, we've seen that plants are never truly silent. They are architects of ecosystems, chemists of survival, and timekeepers of the earth itself. Each leaf, each stem, each bloom and seed carries stories of patience, resilience, and quiet ingenuity. As you drift towards sleep, imagine yourself in a forest at night. The air is cool, and the leaves above shift gently in the breeze. Somewhere, a flower unfurls in darkness. A tree lowers its branches, resting until dawn. Beneath the soil, roots creep slowly through the dark, searching, sensing, alive. Thank you for spending this time exploring the secret world of plants. If you enjoyed this journey, I invite you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join me again for the next adventure in science and wonder. But for now, let your mind quiet, your body soften, and your breath slow. The green world holds you in its stillness. Sleep well and dream among the leaves. Good night.